Hi everyone, welcome to SportsKhabri with me, Rishi and Adi. And I think today's topic is very interesting because I genuinely do not know the answer to the question as to who will take over after Rohit Sharma as India's T20 captain. It's such a weird. I have no idea where it could go. Multiple places, multiple names could be suggested. But I'll just leave it open to you guys for now. Just chuck in some names. First of all, Rishi, when do you think this transition will take place? And when it does, who do you think is in prime spot to take over?
I mean, bro, sometime back, like this is just before. I mean, actually, in and around the Hardik Pandya moving to Mumbai Indians scenario, remember we were discussing it and we were like, this is what is realistically going to happen. Like, Rohit Sharma is going to step down and then they're very much making like, they're setting up everything for Hardik Pandya to take over as the not just T20 captain, but maybe even the white, like in general, the white ball captain as such. And I think the Mumbai Indians move was also like, of course, Mumbai Indians didn't. I don't think they have India's in best interests in like that's not their first priority. But I think that was also that had a factor to play. And I think like he didn't really have a good enough tournament, IPL tournament for him to be included in the squad. But the fact that he is part and he was named vice captain and he was playing every game, I think that also weighs in pretty much everything, pretty much points to that direction. And you see, he's had, to be honest, I don't think anyone's had a great tournament with the bat, but he's done a good job with the ball. So I that's just gonna aid to his case. So realistically speaking, it everything points in the direction of Hardik Pandya taking over as the white ball captain.
Sorry, I was just saying if you had to throw in a name and if you were the selector, who would you appoint as next India captain?
Dude, that's again, that's such a complicated. I don't think there's a one way answer to it. Like, I can't see any really good captain material players in this team. Like, of course, you have a wide range of IPL captains. You have your Gills, you have Pants, you have KL Rahul, you have players. Yeah, you have Hardik Pandya. You have all these players who can potentially become the captain. You have players like Virat also, who's been an ex-captain, although I don't think he's gonna take up the captaincy again. But that's the thing, if I had to give it for a short term, I'd much rather have Virat coming back as the captain. But for the long term, if you want one solid captain for like at least the next 5 6 years, I genuinely don't know who to go to. Like, no one's that, I don't think anyone's that outstanding, or the gap between that person and the others aren't that great. It's such a
Okay.
weird position to be in.
Adi, any names that you'd like to throw in?
For me, it's gonna be Shreyas Iyer, I think, bro.
Bro, are you joking, bro? This guy and his Shreyas
Why?
Iyer, bro.
I mean, he's the
How
best
is,
captain.
bro? This guy is not even
Why are you
contracted,
guys
man.
ignoring? Why are you guys ignoring what he did in the IPL? This IPL,
What
when
did
we
he do
when
exactly?
what do you mean? What did you do? What did he do in this IPL? You've seen previous teams. For example, when Rohit Sharma won the IPL, when MS Dhoni won the IPL, we all praised them as captains. When a player like Shreyas Iyer, not only the first time, he's been very consistent as a captain with Delhi Capitals and with KKR. It is true.
Hmm.
He was the first player to take them for their franchise finals. He took them to a semi-finals next year. He's again taken KKR to a finals in his first full season as a captain, and they won the IPL in his first season. The way he performed as a captain was the best. I mean, you talk about other captains right now. You talk about Pant, Gill, Hardik Pandya. We've spoken about these names. Even Samson. At the end of the day, then they weren't the better captains in terms of leading the team in from the front. I think Shreyas Iyer did that this IPL. He was also unselfish. I mean, if I want to put it plainly, players like Hardik Pandya as a captain is still a bit of a selfish player in my opinion. He's not really a team's man. He's not going to put his team first. I've seen that previously also with his captaincy. He's always looking like he's the main man. He wants to be the main show. Everything needs to be under the control of his. But I
Hmm.
look at Shreyas the way he captained, the Kolkata side who coming into the tournament, not everyone thought they were going to be the favorites. And throughout the tournament, they were dominant. And the way he captained
Adi,
during certain positions, I still feel like he
bro.
has a great shout to be the
No,
captain.
no. I mean, fair enough. Fair play to him that he's won the IPL with KKR. Now, I think the biggest problem with Shreyas Iyer, somebody like him, is does he get in as a player? how is he getting
Yeah,
in
why
to the team as a player?
He's
No,
had
like
a below par IPL. He's
no,
not
he
he
even
has
didn't.
he's
good
had
enough
a
to be
So
included
far
in the
IPL.
squad for the
Look at
World
this
Cup.
year's IPL. He had clutch innings versus RCB. He was very clutch. He was the
Adi
reason they
scored
won.
300 runs in this IPL. Like
That is because of his role itself. He didn't have to
it's
play much
ordinary
cricket.
IPL.
Not really. He's coming in. There were innings or a lot of innings where
Also,
he's
you're
coming.
saying Hardik Pandya. You're talking about Hardik Pandya as a player had the worst IPL ever as a
I
cricketer,
am not saying
and
Hardik. Did I say Hardik
he
Pandya
is
should be
the
captain?
captain.
I don't think Hardik Pandya
No,
deserves
no.
to be there.
Again.
That's my point. So why are we guys saying terms of like, oh, where is his place in the squad? Like, then even terms like players like what do you call Hardik Pandya? We have to also question him. Like, does he deserve to
No,
play? Like,
100%, 100%.
going on form, we can even tell does Virat deserve to play based on the last 3 games? Like, we can always talk about form, but we're talking about what they've done over
there
the
is
past.
There is abundance of like evidence for Virat to be in the team. I mean, regardless,
That
let's
is,
not get into that.
and
no,
Dude,
my
Adi, he's
point is
not even
you can't
centrally
only
contracted,
his
right?
form
He's
is
not
my
centrally
point.
contracted right now.
no. He was
Shreyas Iyer.
dropped from the central
Yeah,
contract.
so how
Exactly.
is
So,
he, Adi? How is he getting in the team? That's my thing. How
brother,
is he?
you go out of contracts, you come into central contracts. That's not related to him being a captain in the future.
Adi,
He
it
can
is. You
become a
don't.
captain
You
in
No,
the
know.
future.
it
You
makes a big
Adi,
difference
which of
because if you're
Virat,
not part
Kohli,
of
KL
central
Rahul have
contract,
not?
if you're not
Yeah.
part of central contract, it is understood that listen, unless you really up your game, we're not looking at you right
And he
now.
Yeah.
You
and he did.
prove
But
you do
firstly,
something out of the world, then or you do something really good, maybe we'll look at you. If you do that consistently enough, we'll get you a central contract. And then you're in the main fix, you're one of the core players who will be in the squad for a good while. Unless that, we're not even looking at you at the point, like at the minute. That's
Hmm.
what really means is meant by not being in the
firstly,
central.
that was before the IPL. His central contract was not given. After the IPL, he performed in the IPL. He showed he's a great
He's had
captain.
a decent, like a very
What he's
average IPL.
performed
He
in
had
the
a decent
IPL.
IPL. For the role he played, he was very good. And as a captain, he was the best captain out there. And he showed that he's calm and cool, collected in pressure situations. We can't just we're talking about captains. We're talking about a great
Bro, I
captain.
think
But we can't always say he's not a great cricketer. He's a great cricketer. He's performed before for India.
great is a push, bro. Great is a big push for
How
Shreyas Iyer. You're really
how
pushing it.
how can you say it's a push,
How
Rahul?
is he a great cricketer?
Because he's performed for India over the past 2-3 years when it matters. Even in the World Cup,
He's
he's
an
the
in
only
and
one who
out
consistently
player.
performed up, apart from Virat in the World Cup who performed for India in batting. It was always Shreyas Iyer.
Bro, you're
You can't,
picking up
you
that
guys
one
can't.
World Cup. His
How would
numbers
you
are not great.
in the
Is
World Cup? In the ODI World Cup?
I'm talking about his numbers for India apart from the World Cup in general. It's some average numbers.
Bro,
He's
but
got
why do you
average numbers
always
in the IPL.
that
He's an
ICC?
average player.
In
He's the
what sense? Tell
definition
me in
of
what
an
sense?
average player.
What sense is he an average player? We talk about Samson being a great player. Samson has
Who
average
is
stats
saying
for
Samson
India.
is a great
Samson
player?
has
He's
never
never
been a
done it at the
great player for
international level.
India because he's not played probably 25% of the games that
Nobody.
Shreyas
Why are
Iyer,
you okay?
who's
Why are
yet
you going
again
to
an
Sanju
average player,
Samson?
has played.
No, no,
Okay,
no, no,
leave
no.
Sanju Samson out of this. Leave him out
You're
of it.
my point is you're beating a yardstick on Shreyas Iyer saying he's an average cricketer, average captain. But everything from his stats, from his performance in the IPL as a captain also, and what he's done with Delhi, everything proves against of what you guys are saying.
Adi, I'm
You
going to
can't
tell
say
you his
he's an
stats.
average
I'll tell
player.
you his stats. His stats are very average. For India,
Compared to
51
who?
T20 Is, he averages 30 and he
30 is
strikes at
decent when he's
130.
not playing
Watch
number
again,
three.
Rahul.
He's
Watch
His,
not
his
in the
strike
top
rate.
three
his
order.
strike rate is in the 130s and his IPL strike rate, career strike rate is 120s. You're
Bro,
telling me he's a great batsman.
how does that matter when he performs, brother? You can't say
What is
everyone.
perform? Again,
Because numbers,
what is
bro.
perform?
Rishi,
Do you
Where
Rishi,
is
want
he
20
performing?
tell me,
20
tell me.
from 19 balls is not a great performance. That gives you
Oh,
120 or 110 strike rate. That is not great
you
performance.
tell me. Okay, tell me the last match you watched Shreyas Iyer playing for T20 in India. Tell me what he did and why you guys are saying he's not
I
good enough to
don't
play.
remember it because
You
he's not
guys
done
can't
anything
remember
memorable.
anything, but just because of
He's never
Iyer's
done
name,
anything
you can't
memorable
say.
for me to remember.
Dude,
Dude,
then
Adi,
you talk
if a
about the
batsman did
outcome.
something memorable, you would remember it. Dinesh Karthik Nidihas Trophy, you remember it. Yuvraj Singh sixes, you remember it. Virat Kohli versus Pakistan, you remember it. You remember great knocks. Shreyas Iyer does not have a great knock, unfortunately.
He does. The first thing is we ignore
Where?
watching
Okay,
it.
you tell me which game.
No, no, my point is even you don't know, even I don't know. But my point is he's done well in the IPL.
Adi, that's the point. If it was a great knock, you would remember it. You remember Rishabh Pant versus Australia. You remember all these good knocks that players have played. And that's when you say,
I
okay,
mean,
fine, this guy
if
is.
you're talking about test matches, even I'll tell. In terms of knocks, I can talk about Shreyas Iyer against New Zealand in the World Cup. Like, what's your point? Like, you're again talking about other.
Adi, it's not a
Not
Okay,
talking
well,
great knock. It's not
okay,
a.
well, for a batsman
There's
who's
no way
had
I'm
a
placing
good
him as a
IPL,
great batsman.
for a batsman who's had a good IPL, take let's just see his innings, the games that he's played. Okay, the last game that he's batted, unless I'm not counting qualifier one and final, or let me see if he's actually played in the qualifier one.
He's the one who
Okay, yeah, he
scored.
did play in the,
He was a top
wait,
scorer in the semi-finals, by the way.
one second, one second. His game versus Mumbai Indians, that is their last league game. His score is 7 of 10.
Bro, you guys are ignoring the point. You're
Before
talking
that,
about scores. I can talk about individual stats of each player you're talking about. If you guys are
Before
telling
that,
India,
23 of 15. Okay. Okay. 23 of 15. Fine. Before that, where is it? Before that, what has he done?
you're a mute now.
No, I'm fine,
Shreyas
bro. I'm
Iyer,
not going
6
to
of
Bro,
question his
4.
captaincy
Your
credentials.
point is so
Okay.
irrelevant.
What are these? What
Your
is this
point is
6
so
of 4,
irrelevant.
7 of 10, and you're saying he has a good IPL? Like, what?
Bro, your point is irrelevant, Rishi, because he had a good
How?
semi-final. He had a good semi-final against SRH. If you're talking about
Acha,
done,
so Rinku Singh 2 years ago had a great game
let me
against
finish,
Gujarat
bro.
Titans. Why isn't he
Let me
playing?
finish.
Why isn't he in the shout?
Let me finish, brother. We're talking
Okay.
about these individual players, right? So if you're talking about who's the other next captain, we're talking about next captain of India. We're not talking about anything else. Now you
Mm-hmm.
give me the alternatives, right? We're talking about
I'll give
players
you
like
an alternative. I'll give you a
hey,
good
let me
alternative.
finish. Let
I'll
me
give you
finish.
a good alternative.
Let me finish. If you're talking
Finish,
about
finish.
players like Hardik Pandya, in the right now contention, and you talk about punt, you guys say he's had an average, bang average player, bang average IPL. You talk about play again, KL Rahul, again bang average player in T20, bang average IPL. Talk about someone else, right? Now who else? The other person might be who? Kai maybe. You can't. Can he be in the contention for captaincy? We don't know. But again, he's not a player who's been consistent for India, anyways. Apart from that, who? Maybe Bumrah, but Bumrah, I don't think he wants to take in captaincy. He's happy with him being the mainstay bowler. He's happy with knowing what his role is. Apart from that, who else alternatives can you give?
I'm
Who
giving you
has
an alternative. I'm giving you a solid alternative.
who has
Yeah.
good stats in terms of consistent performance, and as a captain, he's been good. You can't
Bro,
say
Adi,
this guy shouldn't play
where
based on poor cricketing stats when he's performed well and he's won the IPL. All the other captains you're showing me haven't won the IPL. Even Gill, as a captain, he has done
Adi,
nothing.
Shreyas Iyer has played 50 T20 Is for India. Bats at 3 and 4 for India on this
Rahul,
file.
I
He
always
has
believe,
an average of 30. He
Rahul,
is
I always
not a great player. And I'll
see,
give
I
you a good
always
alternative. I'll give you a good alternative. The best alternative is actually Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah, I
If
was just
I
gonna say
know,
that.
and Jasprit Bumrah has never said he doesn't want captaincy. It was
In
reported
fact,
heavily that
I
in the
remember there were
wings
a
to
lot
take
of
over as Mumbai Indians captain.
yeah. I heard a lot of news reports that he was visibly unhappy. He was very unhappy when
Exactly,
they
exactly.
gave it to they
reports.
brought
That's
Pandya
very
instead of
credible.
Yeah.
Reports is very credible of you to say just
No,
reports.
but
Like
what else
that's
will you trust at this
not
point?
at all credible at all. We know that's not credible. You give me has he come
So
out
then,
and say
how
I
are
want
you
captain?
telling that
Come
Bumrah
out.
doesn't want captaincy? How are you
No,
saying Bumrah does
my
want
yeah.
point is
captaincy?
he's not tested, Rahul. That's my point. Like I'm saying
Fair enough, dude.
logically,
So has
dude,
Shreyas Iyer never been trusted
taking
as an
log
India captain?
how we're taking logical
Where
steps here.
he's never
Taking
captain India.
Okay, so one second. So let me get this right. So you want to bring in a player who's not given a central contract with with the consideration that he is not in the mainstay plans for the Indian team because his performances have not been good enough in recent. Wait, let me complete. You want to bring him in whose track record just shows that he's going to be a very bang average player with an average of 30 who strikes the ball or who almost gives a runner ball just for his captaincy when you have a world class bowler who is probably the best in all three formats who when he's done the captaincy job he's done it tidily there's no blame or there's no criticism that he's done the job poorly. So you want, instead of giving it to him, you want to bring in a player who's not even part of BCCI's plans just for his captaincy because of that one IPL that he's won, despite him playing consistently for India and playing bang average. Is that what you're telling me?
Firstly, let me debunk this whole this thing of he's not in part of BCCI's plans. he's very much in part of BCCI plans. You just can't say he's not in part of the BCCI plans because he's not having a contract for this year. He can obviously re-earn a contract. So let's take that out. We're talking about Bumrah as a captain. Firstly, we are talking about logical steps here. Do you think India is going to sit and say let's take Bumrah as a captain because he's not been tested as a captain in any format, maybe IPL or for
He
India?
has captained the test
That,
team.
that's the Indian team.
Yeah, Indian team,
Yeah,
Indian test
yeah,
team.
Indian team.
When
Indian test team, he is captain, and he's also the vice captain of the Indian test team.
exactly, but T20, we're talking about T20 here, right? We're
Yeah,
not talking about the
T20 he
test.
hasn't captained. He's never
Test is a
got the
totally different thing.
opportunity.
We're only talking about T20s here.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
think
what is it?
For India as a T20 captain, as a captain, we can talk about Cummins
No,
being
he
a
hasn't.
captain.
He hasn't.
He's the captain for Test and ODI, but he doesn't captain the T20 team. T20 is a
No, he
different
was the
format.
previous
That's my
captain, wasn't
point.
he?
Sorry,
Wasn't he the previous captain?
He was. He
Wasn't
was
it?
the previous captain.
Yeah,
previous captain of what?
The
the
T20
T20
team.
team.
Cummins
Yeah,
was
but
the
my
captain
point is, you
before.
can see he stepped down. That's a different topic. My point is like, again, logical steps here. Again, we can't ignore what Shreyas Iyer has done just based on, we're talking about captain here. If you're going to get an edge on captaincy, why can't we ignore it? We were talking about Rohit Sharma, who's done nothing for Indian T20s. He plays every game. No one questions. Generally, people don't question about him being in the squad. Just as a captain, he's playing for India. He's not being played as a batsman. Example, if Rohit Sharma was not a captain, do you think he would be picked on based on form over the past
So why
three,
are we
4
repeating the same thing again?
No,
If
no, no.
that is a negative, why are we repeating the same thing again?
My point is when other players are playing in the Indian squad, even when they're in poor form, we can't just take it out of consideration. I'm telling you, we have to take that as consideration. If we want India to get a good captain, young captain, Shreyas Iyer has proved over time. It's not just one season where he's done. He took Delhi Capitals to the finals, which no other captain has done in their franchise. He took them to the qualifiers again. He also finished KKR with an IPL in this first season. You can't just say it's a one season wonder, fluke, etc. We just can't tell that because he's done that over a consistent basis. And you have to take that into account. If we can find a great place for Shreyas Iyer, and if we can put in performances, obviously, when it comes to performances, maybe as a T20 modern T20 player, you need higher run rates. I mean, sorry, strike rates. But his average is not bad. He had a 40 average in IPL this year. His strike rate was 140. So you just can't say he had a poor bang average IPL. When his entire role in this KKR's team was not to be the main player to bat. He was very much an anchor role, or he also the games where he finished it. When against RCB, when KKR were finding it tough to play, he's the one who scored against them. Even in the qualifiers, he's the one who scored and took them to the finals. So we are just ignoring this fact of like, yeah, he's not a great player. He's not a great player. When he's actually proven that he's done a lot of things, we just can't dismiss his name for the likes of Hardik Pandya, etc., who's actually not done
Nobody's
much.
dismissing him for Hardik Pandya.
Rahul, that's my point.
Neither of us don't want Hardik Pandya as the captain.
Yeah, but when we started speaking, if not for Rohit, there is no other alternative apart from Hardik Pandya. And if the next step is Hardik Pandya, I think Shreyas Iyer has a better shout to be the captain if India trusts him, or someone like Ruturaj Gaikwad can also step in the long term. But these two are the only two players I think logically make sense for IPL and sorry, T20 standpoint. Like I don't think anyone else is captain material in this team apart from these two players in the future. And right now, you can't say Bumrah. We give the
Why
captain
not?
to you. No, that's my point. Why are we saying no to Shreyas Iyer? It's based on track record.
Performances.
Whatever we said, track record. Same thing. We can go back to Bumrah. He's not had the track record. I wouldn't mind Bumrah being the captain of Test team, ODI team, and then coming to T20 if he wants. Like if that's the long.
What do you mean Bumrah has not had a track record? Like, what do you mean?
As a captain in T20, he doesn't have the track
Yeah,
record.
that I'm talking about as a player.
No, that's
I'm
my
saying
point.
just
It's like
Shreyas
saying,
Iyer will not last 5 years in the Indian team. He will
but
not.
it's fine. That's my point. Even if it's for the next 3 years, next cycle for 3 years.
He's not lasting 3 years, Adi. He's
Why
not
not?
lasting.
So if you want to give
He's
it 3
not a
years, you
good
might
enough
as well
player.
give
How
it
are
to
you
Virat Kohli or
predicting
something like that.
something without any statistical value or any proper
I'm
metric?
telling you, he averages 30 for India. I'm telling you, he strikes at
No,
130.
Rahul,
How
that's
are
my
you?
point.
What is
If
that
you have
not?
a
That what
if
else
you
is
have a
that?
great captain, bro, we have to talk about what a leader is firstly, right? When we are dismissing the point of a leader in a national team, like we can again come back to saying, Cummins should not play T20s. His economy is so high, etc. But we don't because leaders also have other things to do apart from just being a so-called striker, batting. He needs to only have averages of above 35 for him to, even have something. Like, you can't just talk like that. Like, that's my point. We're talking about leaders here. We're not talking
But
about
I don't
any.
think Shreyas Iyer is a world-class leader that we put everything aside and say, oh, come and captain the Indian team.
But tell me, bro, like, apart from him, who else you can give a good shot apart from
I'm
Bumrah?
telling you, Jasprit
Apart from
Bumrah.
Jasprit
Bumrah,
Like,
Bumrah,
you
exactly.
don't.
bro,
I'm telling you, Jasprit Bumrah is there.
you guys are telling Bumrah, fair enough, but you're talking about him without any previous experience. You talk about how,
Dude,
like, oh yeah,
Shreyas
he's
Iyer has
going to
never
surely.
captained the Indian team.
But Shreyas Iyer has captained the IPL consistently for 5 years.
3 years in which 1 year
Five
he
years.
didn't play entirely. One
Yeah,
year
but
he
for
didn't play
five,
entirely. First year he's captain this year,
he
and
captained.
Delhi.
He captained in Delhi
Yeah,
for 3 years or 3.5 years, basically.
yeah. 1 year in that he didn't play. He played. He missed the entire season.
Yeah. So how was that related to his performances when he played, Rahul? Like, you guys can't dismiss it.
I'm telling you, he's not. He's not some 10-year-old captain that we're saying. Okay, Iyer has a wonderful track record as captain.
Even Hardik Pandya's been for 2 years, 3 years. That's all as a captain.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
So
Am I
again,
vouching
we're
for
not
Hardik Pandya?
advocating
I'm
for Hardik
not.
Pandya at this point. We're
Nobody's
saying
vouching for
everything
Hardik
just
Pandya.
But
points to Shreyas Iyer. Sorry,
you're
Hardik
saying
Pandya.
Bumrah based on biasness. That's it. It's not based on any track record where you can say he's going to be a shortstop captain. Like, bro, just because you're a great player, it doesn't mean you're going to be a great captain, Rishi. That's my point. If you're the best bowler in the world, how is that equal to you being the best leader? That's two
No,
different
no,
things.
Adi, if he's a vice captain and he's captained a test team, that means there's some leadership quality that is they've seen in
Fair
him.
enough. Fair enough. But you have to do that
Yeah.
consistently over time, Rahul. You can't just say, I've
So he
captained one
needs to
game.
get the
He is
opportunity,
he
right?
he
No.
he quite
We
literally
talk about
is the
India.
test vice captain of the team. What more
Not
consistency
even.
in terms of vice captaincy do you
We're talking
want?
about he's been test captain, vice captain for a year. It does not equal. This isn't equal to him being a great leader and being able to do that over time. You can't tell me that. Tell
So
me, Bumrah.
you won't deputize a random player or a newbie if Ishan Kishan's coming and playing a one-off test game like he did versus Bangladesh or West Indies. You're not going to make him the vice captain. If you are going to make a
We're
person the
talking
vice
about.
captain, there are certain qualities. Okay, someone to deputize, someone your captain can look to for a second opinion for
Let me
any.
let me
So
take that
your
logic with you. Let me take the logic with you. Before Bumrah, who was the vice captain of India? Literally last year.
who
Can you
was
tell me?
vice captain? Yeah.
It was KL Rahul. He's the vice
Yeah.
captain for India.
Okay.
Why is he not the
Yeah.
vice captain right now?
Because he
Because
is
he's not
fallen off a
because
cliff
he's not a
in
sure
terms of
shot starter
performances.
in the team. He's not
Exactly.
and he's not a sure
If I'm
shot
not
starter to
wrong, if
play in
I'm
the
not wrong,
team.
again he was also removed from the central contracts.
He was a captain, you realize? Like, he also captained India in
Vice
the test.
captain. Yeah,
He
you
also
captain
captained
one.
the
Yeah,
South
one test
Africa
match. Yeah.
team. Exactly. Now he's not the captain. So it's not just because of, you can't say he's been the vice captain, he's a great leader, let's make him the captain, right? My point is,
Nobody's saying Bumrah is a great leader. We're
Adi, you are just
saying
helping
that's my
our
point.
case. You
yeah,
are just
we're
helping
not
our
saying
case when
Bumrah
you
is a
say
great
that
leader.
KL Rahul was a captain. He is not anymore because his
Rishi, my
performances
point
have
is,
gone off. It's taken a
let's
nosedive.
let's talk about what players have done based on you saying Bumrah needs to be the next captain. Tell me why. You
Okay.
can't just say he needs to be the vice captain because he's
I'll
the
tell
best
you. I'll give
bowler.
you
Tell me the
two,
leadership
three good
qualities.
reasons. Adi,
Tell me what he's done in his career.
I'll give you the reasons. Okay,
Two
listen.
different being a leader and a
First,
player.
reason number one. First thing, he's never going to get dropped. He's an undroppable player. He's probably
Brilliant is
India's
not going
most
to get dropped.
consistent. One second. He's India's most consistent bowler for the last whatever years. He
In
will
fact,
continue to
India's
play
most
in the team.
consistent player, you can say.
Player, exactly. Period. Most consistent player, probably the most consistent player in the world today.
Okay.
Okay, plays every game. He's going to be there. Now he's been a part of the India leadership group. He's the vice captain of the Indian team. That means that one second. That means that there is something that they've seen in him leadership wise to say, okay, Bumrah is good enough to vice captain the India team, and he's also captain the Indian Test team, which means that there is something there that India said, okay, you know what, he's a fairly good leader to look at, and we can sort of trust him with this responsibility. First is these are two brilliant reasons to say, okay, he's at least in the reckoning to become the next captain. I don't have a track record for Bumrah because he's never captained the team. The same can be said about MS Dhoni before 2007. We didn't know anything about him, but he still became captain. He proved himself as India captain. Now, if you don't give him the opportunity, of course he'll not have a track record. And point number three, with Shreyas Iyer, it's simply the fact that he is not going to be a consistent player. Like you said, KL Rahul, who is not there right now in that leadership setup because he's not a sure shot starter, which is going to be the same issue you're going to have with Shreyas Iyer. He's not going to be a sure shot starter for India,
Okay.
especially even like
Tell
any
me why.
format.
Tell me why.
Tell me why, because
Tell me
we've
why
seen
he.
that.
One second,
Let me tell me why he
before you
won't be a
go to that.
consistent starter for India. Tell me that, like why? Because of what exact reason?
Adi, why is he not a starter today for India?
It is because they just didn't pick. You can't just say
Why
he.
didn't they
Why?
pick him? So
Why
why
did they
didn't they
not
pick
pick?
him? Why didn't
Why
they
did
pick
they
him?
not pick? Because they
Because
don't like. Did they look at astronomy?
I'm
Like,
not
what
the
is the
selector.
reason?
I'm not the selector. There's a lot of reasons why you don't get picked. I can come and tell you why is Rinku Singh not picked. Is it because of the cricketing
No, he's
ability, or
in
is
the
it
reserves at least.
He's at least exactly.
but he's not there in the team? Why?
No, but
Why?
Shreyas Iyer is not even in the. He's not even centrally contracted. Why?
Yeah, exactly. Why? Because he was
Why?
injured at a period of time, and they decided, okay, let's just kick him out based on their own.
Adi has not been injured since the World Cup. Why is he not picked
Are
for
you
T20?
sure? Are you
Yeah.
sure? He was literally injured in the Test series, right?
Which test series?
The recent one which India played, and that's the reason he got dropped.
Oh, he got okay. Fine. I don't know about this. If he got dropped because of his test
It
form,
was because of
you're
his fitness issues.
okay.
They
So
said,
okay, fine, fine. Okay, guys, we're actually going over time. Okay, quickly wrap up your. So for me, I think Bumrah has to be the next India captain. I don't see Shreyas Iyer, Hardik Pandey, whoever it is taking over. Maybe there might be a shot for Rishabh Pant because like they will play him no matter what. But yeah, anyways, I'm saying Bumrah for me. Adi, Shreyas Iyer, Rishi. Finally, like for you, who do you think?
I mean, it makes a lot of sense for Bumrah. Like at the end of the day, even Pat Cummins, if I'm not wrong, he became the Test captain and then he moved on to the ODI and
Yeah, yeah.
T20. Of course you can say that T20 is not the same as Test. It's a completely different ball game. It's not a different sport. Most of the players you're going to play with are the same. At least the core group is the same, and it's not like you need an extra degree or an extra master's degree for you to go from Test captaincy to T20 captaincy, especially when you are the premier bowler in all three formats. You're the specialist in all three formats. You have a load of experience. You've been in the setup. You've also been given the vice captaincy before. It is absolutely safe, and it makes logical sense to go for a player who is not just a player who isn't part of the leadership group. He has been in and around the leadership group. He is already the vice captain. So if he's going to be the red ball captain or going to be the next red ball captain, it just simply does not make sense as to why you cannot make him the T20 captain as well when he has the performances to back him as well. So I simply can't look past that as to why he can't be the captain. Of course, he may or may not turn out to be a good T20 captain, or eventually they might want to rest him more for, to save him for the tests and the other, whatever is the PCCI's priority. But that does not like the only reason he has to be given a separate captaincy is if it comes to workload management. Other than that, I don't see why like Bumrah should just be a red ball captain and you should get another white ball captain in separate. But I realistically again, like I started with that, but it just points towards Hardik Pandya is all. Like I mean,
Yeah,
see, as much as we would not prefer that, like I told you this way back also, like bro, that's the writing is on the wall. Otherwise, they wouldn't take him like right now. They would be like, you know what, yeah, it's you sit this one out. Like if they had the same plans, they wouldn't mind doing that with what they did with Iyer. Like he didn't the same thing. He didn't have a great IPL. He didn't have a great he was off for a while. He's still nursing a back injury. Like, you never knew like what you were gonna get from Hardik Pandya. So they still took him. They instead of just taking him, they to add to that they made him the vice captain as well. So that just points to one thing as so it just looks like Hardik Pandya is going to be the new white ball captain at least, but I really hope it's given to Bumrah.
Yep. That's the. I mean, guys, we've got to take Sadi saying Shreyas Iyer. I've got Bumrah. Rishi's gone Bumrah, but I think there is a realistic possibility that it could be Hardik Pandya. Unfortunately, for people who don't want to see him there, I don't want to see him at least there because I just don't think he's got the right attitude, character, and all of that. So yeah, that's where we stand with this. Thanks, guys, for watching. Let us know who you think should succeed Rohit Sharma as T20 captain of India. Let us know your thoughts. Like and share the video. Subscribe to SportsKhabri. We'll see you soon.